So, there's this quote from Sean VP highlighted in our source material today, and it goes like this. This is the big lie about competition. Imprint this in your mind and just do it. I mean, what a way to start, right? I absolutely love kicking off with this because it perfectly sets the tone for everything we're going to explore. We spend so much time, literally way too much time, stressing over the crowded marketplace, eyeing our competitors, worrying about who might be doing it better, and we just freeze. We get completely paralyzed. But here's the thing, the reality of thriving, the absolute truth about true survival, it isn't about staring down the competition. Not at all. It's about taking direct, undeniable action.
All right, let's dive right into this explainer of Weekly Nishes Here, issue 88. Today, we are unpacking a seriously brilliant curation of insights pulled from the worlds of tech, pop culture, and business. Now, at first glance, you might be thinking, well, how do these connect? They seem totally random. But stick with me. As we go through these slides, I'm going to show you how they all beautifully weave together under one massive overarching umbrella, the art of survival and adaptation.
Okay, here's our quick roadmap for today. We're starting with the competition lie, then we'll move on to YouTube's dominance, take a look at Hollywood crossovers, dig into the producer's job, and we'll wrap the whole shebang up with something called the grass taco.
Section 1. The competition lie.
Look, to survive in any environment, whether you're a creator, a startup founder, or an artist, you've got to completely reframe how you look at obstacles. Our source material kicks off with this absolutely foundational mindset. You have to tune out the competitive noise. The lie of competition is this toxic belief that just because someone else is doing something kinda similar, there's suddenly no room for you. And honestly, that mindset is just a giant roadblock. The most successful builders out there, they simply ignore that lie. They put their heads down, they focus entirely on their own vision, and they take consistent action. When you finally stop looking sideways at what everyone else is doing and you start looking forward at what you can actually build, well, that's your first real step towards survival.
Section 2. YouTube's dominance. Let's see how this builds from a personal, internal mindset right up to a massive, global scale. Take a look at this timeline for YouTube. As highlighted by Bloomberg Originals in our sources, YouTube has been around for 2 decades now, 20 years. I mean, let's put that into perspective. In internet years, 20 years basically makes you a dinosaur. Most tech startups from that era, they're long gone. Yet YouTube went from this tiny, scrappy video sharing site on day 1, evolved into an absolute global media behemoth by year 10, and now, hitting year 20, they're still dominating. So how do they do it? By relentlessly adapting.
Let's see how this builds from a personal, internal mindset right up to a massive, global scale. Take a look at this timeline for YouTube. As highlighted by Bloomberg Originals in our sources, YouTube has been around for 2 decades now, 20 years. I mean, let's put that into perspective. In internet years, 20 years basically makes you a dinosaur. Most tech startups from that era, they're long gone. Yet YouTube went from this tiny, scrappy video sharing site on day 1, evolved into an absolute global media behemoth by year 10, and now, hitting year 20, they're still dominating. So how do they do it? By relentlessly adapting.
Because survival is never passive. Actually, scratch that. It's an active, daily fight. YouTube's dominance is no accident. They are constantly transforming their platform. When short-form videos suddenly exploded, they didn't just cross their fingers and ignore it. No, they evolved against the specific threat of TikTok by pushing YouTube Shorts. And now, as artificial intelligence is fundamentally rewiring how content is made and consumed, they're adapting all over again. It's really a masterclass in staying relevant. You have to directly confront modern threats instead of hiding from them.
Section 3. Hollywood Crossover.
So, just as massive tech platforms have to adapt to digital threats, human actors have to adapt to entirely new geographic markets. Our source material points out this really fascinating trend. Major Hollywood actors are popping up more and more in Asian cinema, specifically in Chinese films. We're talking everything from huge lead roles down to brief, surprise cameos. Why? Why is this happening? Well, it's because the traditional domestic box office in the West has a ceiling. It has limits. To truly survive and to grow their personal brands and box office draw, these actors are deliberately expanding their footprint. By crossing over into Asian films, they are adapting their careers to capture a much wider, truly international audience. It's a calculated, brilliant survival mechanism in an industry that is shifting right under their feet.
Section 4. The producer's job.
Speaking of the movie business, let's shift over to the ultimate adapters behind the scenes. Being a film producer is routinely called the hardest job in the industry, and for good reason. The producer is the person overseeing the absolute chaos of a project, literally from its earliest infancy all the way to its final release. Step 1, they oversee the initial development of the idea. Step 2, they handle the absolute nightmare of financing and logistics. Finding the money and then figuring out how not to blow it all at once. Step 3, they assemble the entire team, the cast, the crew. And finally, Step 4, they manage the distribution and marketing to actually get the film in front of eyeballs. They are the engine. They keep the whole machine moving.
But here is why this is absolutely crucial and how it ties perfectly into our theme today. The producer's true survival skill? It's mediation. They are the human bridge between two completely opposing forces. On one side, you've got the creative, artistic vision of the director, and on the flip side, you have the strict, cold financial demands and timelines of the studio. The producer has to speak both languages flawlessly. They have to protect the art while satisfying the business. And honestly, without a producer's ability to navigate that intense, daily friction, movies simply wouldn't exist.
Section 5. The Grass Taco. Okay, let's shift gears entirely from the massive scale of Hollywood down to the micro scale of nature. You guys, the sheer ingenuity of this tiny creature is mind-blowing. So, the grass skipper butterfly starts its life as a very vulnerable caterpillar. And to survive this risky stage, it doesn't just sit around hoping for the best. It physically alters its environment. It spins silk and literally folds a single blade of grass completely shut around itself. It builds a cozy, rent-free little fortress. Scientists and observers affectionately call the structure a grass taco. I love that. It is just a stunning physical manifestation of adapting to survive. And what's the payoff for this brilliant little adaptation? Well, by securing itself in the grass taco, it survives the harsh elements, it hides from predators, it matures, and eventually it successfully emerges as this fuzzy butterfly, completely transformed and ready to engage in these highly expressive, flirty courtship dances to find a mate. It literally secures the survival of its entire species just because it knows how to fold a single blade of grass. To bring our whole narrative arc to a close today, let's look at this final quote from our sources by Ehekian. Disagreements are the foundation of the strongest relationships. This right here perfectly encapsulates everything we've been talking about. Friction, disagreement, opposition, these aren't things we should be terrified of. They are the catalyst for adaptation. Whether it's YouTube fighting the friction of TikTok, a film producer battling the disagreement between art and commerce, or a tiny caterpillar fighting the harsh elements of nature, that friction is exactly what creates strong, lasting, successful outcomes. So if you take nothing else away, the crucial point is this. Friction forces us to adapt, and adaptation is how we survive and ultimately how we win. Try looking at the challenges in your own life not as roadblocks, but as the very gym equipment that is going to make you stronger.
If you want to feed your curiosity and dive into even more of these brilliant, hand-picked insights on tech, pop culture, and business, you've got to visit NishIsHere.com. But before you go do that, I want to leave you with one final thought. How will you challenge your own perspectives today? What is the grass taco that you need to build to protect and nurture your next big idea? Keep learning, keep adapting, and I will see you on the next explainer.